So I knew something was up when I started receiving all of these emails asking me, Antonio, when are you going to put up our product review? When are you going to talk about the suit that we sent you? Now, being a style YouTuber and not the most organized one, you may say, Antonio, that sounds like an email you probably receive, right? But here's the deal. I'd never heard of these people. I'd never received an email from them. I didn't even know about their companies, and I definitely hadn't received any of their products. Now, to be honest, mistakes happen, and we are really busy here at Real Men Real Style. I get a lot of correspondence, hundreds of emails every single week. We try to get back to everybody. We get hundreds of messages on different social media platforms. I get almost a dozen letters every single week, and we would like to respond back to people. So, something could have come in. Different packages could have gotten slipped, hidden in the office. I went through, looked around. We went through all of our correspondence, and we could find nothing related to what multiple people now were telling me, hey, you need to do this review. You've received this suit. And I'm like, nope, I haven't. Now, it took a while. I know I'm a bit slow, but eventually I caught on. Somebody was using my identity. Somebody was out there saying they are Antonio Centeno, and to send them free products for reviews, somebody was out there stealing my reputation, stealing my identity to get free products. Now, I'm no stranger to somebody using my likeness, to stealing my identity online, using me to actually push their products. In fact, there's this great video I found, had it sent to me by a fan over in India, and it just cracked me up. Apparently, I'm over there pushing some type of sex herbal enhancement product. Yeah, who knew I had, all this potential in this industry? Now, some of you guys may be saying, well, that looks authentic to me, and I appreciate the compliment, but I do not speak Tamil, and to be honest, I don't need those enhancing products. So in today's video, gents, I'm going to share with you the story about how somebody impersonated me, stole thousands of dollars from unsuspecting individuals, and what it did to my reputation. I'm going to talk about first the letters I received and what people were writing me. Next, I'm going to talk about why I didn't take action when I should have, how I missed the bus, how I didn't see a lot of the signs. And finally, this is the most interesting part, is so whenever somebody steals your identity, this is like one of those faceless crimes. You never meet them, you never hear about this person. Well, in this case, I did find out who did this. And yeah, guys, I explain it. You got to stick around for the end. But this video is going to be awesome, guys. You ready for it? Let's do this. Now, before we get started, quick question. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is? And how bad is this? Every 14 seconds, there's a new victim. The answer? Identity theft. And when it happens fast. First, you may notice, hey, I can't log into my email. I'm locked out. Next thing you know, get a notification from your bank, from your credit card companies. Passwords are changing. What is going on? You can't get into your crypto accounts.
I can basically pretend to be you right now. I am you.
And that's why, gentlemen, I'm excited to partner with Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura is identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software, all combined into an easy-to-use app. Aura monitors the dark web for your emails, passwords, and social security numbers, and sends alerts fast, right to your phone and email. When you connect your credit and bank accounts, you get notified of any changes up to 4 times faster than Aura's competitors. And VPNs are awesome. Why? They allow you to stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. And their antivirus software, it blocks malware and viruses before they infect your device. Now, personally, I thought I did a pretty good job of securing my information, but when I signed up for Aura, I found my information on the dark web 6 times within a couple seconds of signing up. And for those of you guys that are up for a little bit of fun, I challenge you to grab the Aura app and to find out how many times you're on the dark web, and let me know in the comments below. To get started today, gents, use that link in the description of today's video. That's aura.com/RMRS to get 2 weeks free when you sign up. Seriously, gents, it's a great app. I have it installed on my phone. It is so easy to use, and it does a great job not only going out there and looking for this information, but again, notifying you as soon as something is breached. As soon as your information is found, they notify you so you can take action. Again, gents, to start your free trial for 2 weeks, go to aura.com/RMRS. That's aura.com/RMRS. Go check them out. Awesome company. So the first letter I received was back in March of 2019 from Oliver Wicks, and they were writing me saying, Antonio, we haven't heard anything from you. You had reached out to us about receiving a suit. We had sent you some free clothing. Can you let us know the status on the review? And we ended up going back and forth, and this is what they said. They said, We received this email from you. It said, "Hi, Oliver Wick's staff. My name's Antonio Centeno, social media influencer and founder of the YouTube channel and blog Real Men Real Style. I'm in the process of creating a new video for my YouTube channel titled The Best Made to Measure Services of 2019, and I plan to include a review of Oliver Wick's Made to Measure program. I would love to work with you, and could you all send me a suit? Here are going to be my measurements attached. I think it would be a great opportunity and showcase." Now, to be honest, gents, I don't even remember receiving this email. My assistant, Jamie, does a really good job of keeping most emails out of my site. She actually sends me a summary, but if she can handle it, she takes care of it. And she told me at the time, she thought that, hey, these guys had just been maybe swindled. She had noted, hey, this is not our email. Antonio Centeno, RMRS @gmail.com. And she went back and forth with him and said, "Hey, we're sorry, but I don't think this is us." And she did confirm with me, I think, just in a meeting. And we kind of moved on like, okay, it was a one-off. Somebody is trying to take advantage of these people. I hope that people would just be a little bit more careful when they're striking a deal with somebody. But I didn't give it too much thought. Late that year, I had another company, Sartorial, reach out and say, "Hey, we've been having correspondence, again, with this Antonio Centeno, RMRS @gmail.com." And they started getting a little bit fishy. I think they did send him not a full-on suit, but they sent him some ties, maybe some other accessories, a few shirts, but they weren't getting good respondents. The email stopped working for them, and they were trying to figure out, hey, what's going on with the reviews? Are we going to be able to make this happen? Is this actually legitimately you? And this is when all of a sudden the red flags started popping up, like, hey, like this, again, this person, whoever's doing this, is doing it. We responded back. It was a very similar email. Apparently the guy was using a foreign email, basically saying, who I am. And I'm guessing he mass emailed just tons of people out there. So again, this was the second time this popped up in a year. And but I didn't know what to do about it, because here somebody is stealing and sending out and impersonating me, but I don't know how to shut this guy down. A few months later, I received another email, this one coming from iSuit. And we had a gentleman over there just saying, "Antonio, a while back, we had sent you the suit. You were going to do the video. We're very much looking forward to it, but it's been over 6 months since we have sent the suit out and we haven't heard anything back. Can you please let us know what is going on?" And at this point, I just felt really bad. I went and checked out the guy's website. I understand this is a business. They're trying to make things happen. And we had to write them back and say, "Hey, can you please send us?" Apparently, somebody named Brandon said they are the RMRS content director, and they had reached out. They had asked for some garments for a video sponsorship for your channel. He talked about views, insights, and conversion rate, and convinced us to join. I mean, the guy really sold them on the whole thing. We agreed because we really liked your website and the concept behind it, so we sent him a complete made luxury outfit. I think it was not the first time, because we found out there apparently are other victims. So here in the tailoring community, or in the suiting community, people are finding out that Real Men Real Style apparently is taking suits and not making videos. Now, I wish it would have stopped there, but it didn't. I started getting letters from people, business owners that legitimately are asking, "Antonio, what's going on? You're not answering the phone number that you apparently gave us. Your email doesn't work." These were, no one said anything really hateful, but they were like, "Hey, like, we had a business arrangement that was expensive for my shop to make this suit." It sounded like a lot of smaller tailors or smaller suiting shops, who I'm not going to name, apparently had made suits, somebody even sent some shoes to this guy, apparently, with the idea that they were going to get reviews on my channel, that they were going to have me talk about them in our videos, put out something on our website, basically helped create and grow their business. And I had to send out just apologies. I got people's phone numbers. I was trying to call people. I don't know, but I'm like, what can I do? Warn the entire world that somebody out there is impersonating me and using, our basically, just basically saying they're us and stealing from people. Now, I'd like to say that we took action fast and we took action swift, and that we were able to help people out and make everything good. The reality is, I couldn't just be doing free reviews. There ended up being about 6 different people, different companies that apparently were scammed. And these are the ones I know about. I know that there are many who just kind of like, oh, that Antonio guy is a scammer. That Antonio guy doesn't respond. They moved on. So I'm assuming they're probably close to 20, if I were to do the math on just people that don't bother with it. Because I know that's how I am in business. I don't have time to go after things that have dropped. It's just now, I'm always running forward. Point being is, I realized that we have an issue because we have this public presence, because we're putting out information, because there's power, there's basically resources that you can get from people. I looked around on Instagram. We had tons of fake accounts, people that were saying they were me. And one of them, I remember he was putting out stuff that total red pill, which I'm, a pretty conservative guy, but I would not be saying what he was saying about how women, should basically be, in the kitchen with making babies barefoot and pregnant, barefoot, and with a sandwich. I mean, he posted something. It's like, and my face is on this thing. There's TikTok accounts that people are just taking our information and putting this out there. There are Pinterest boards. I realized, there were Twitter accounts that were fake. So I reached out and I tried to kill a lot of this stuff. And come to find out, I apparently needed certain protections, legal protections, copyright, trademarks. So I had to then file that. That took 6 months before I got that paperwork done. Then I was able to go in and say, nope, this is me. So it took us almost a year to start eradicating. I don't know how much damage was done there, but the worst, I think, was knowing that somebody out there was stealing our likeness and was basically taking from people, stealing from hardworking individuals around the world. Some of these were, based over, one is in Bangkok, another one of the companies was in Hong Kong. We had a company over in Europe, and there were a few American companies, again, that were taken advantage of. And to this day, I'm sure some people have it's ruined my good name. And the frustrating part is, what could I do about it? Now, the part of the video that I hinted towards, I actually found out, and I received a letter from the person that apparently had stolen my identity, was out there impersonating me. Now, this was one person, and there could have been other ones out there. I'm assuming that this isn't the only time this has happened, but I thought that it was really interesting to get a letter. But before I read this letter and I reveal what I sent back and what happened when I sent it back, I want to talk about, what actions could I take? For me in this situation, I did feel a bit helpless. I just kept moving forward. For me, I felt, what? I got to just be who I can. I got to realize this is outside of my control. This is something that I am going to be the best person I can be. I'm always going to treat people with respect. We had a company-wide meeting. We made sure our correspondence was clean, pristine, that we got back to people within 24 hours. Whether someone has a basic style question, whether somebody, wants to do a deal with me, I always try to respond, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on Instagram. If you're DMing me on a, Facebook hidden profile, I'm finding a way to try to get back to you, because I know that when people send a message, they just want to hear a response. And we would have probably done such a better job if we had responded quickly, if we had seen these patterns. If I talked to Jamie about just being, hey, when you see something like this, don't be afraid to let me know. Yes, it may upset me, but that's not your fault. We just worked on having better communication within the company so that we can better spot when things like this are happening. But that was what I just tried to improve ourselves. I tried to improve myself, the company, and the way that we were running things, so that, if anyone ever meets us in person, we can, with all sincerity say, hey, we did all we could. I'm sorry you were taken advantage of, but, it was just unfortunately something out of our control. So who was this person? Well, he said his name was Dominic, and he said this: Dear Antonio, I'd like to apologize to you for my actions. Several years ago, I began to pretend to be you in order to get free suits using a fake email address. I was young and stupid and didn't have any concerns for the consequences of my actions, who I hurt in the process. Karma has certainly come back around for what I did. Since then, I've learned how difficult it is to achieve success and build your own brand, suffering many failures and setbacks of my own. Because of it, I lost my job. I lost my longtime girlfriend. One day, I truly hope to be able to make things right to you and to the companies I scammed, and look you in the eye and apologize for what I did. I'm truly happy to see you succeeding every day, despite me trying to piggyback off your good name and brand. I hope someday I can convince you to forgive me, Antonio. He signed it as Dominic Cobb. Now, I think it's a make, because I hadn't responded to this email, and my response came right back. So no one ever got to see the video that I recorded for Dominic. And in that video, I want to share it with you guys. I did not say, I did not condemn him. The guy has already gone through enough pain. He's already gone through enough hurt. There's nothing I'm going to get from piling onto it. I just wanted him to let him know I forgive him, and I wish him great success. Hopefully this can become a life lesson, something that he can learn from. And I just want him to be able to forgive himself and to move on, because it really sounds like this guy has more than paid for whatever, damage he did. And I think we've all got things in our past. We've got things about, it's one of those things, I think men especially, we are so hard on ourselves when we're maybe not the best provider. We maybe don't have success when others do. We're not maybe the best athlete. We don't have the best physical body. We're not the smartest person. When we let people down, we say we're going to do something, we don't do it. And we beat ourselves up. Animals are interesting because animals, they learn once. If you misjudge, a cat misjudges jumping on something, it falls and it feels the pain once. A dog goes and he finally gets that tire and bites the tire. What? He's going to learn very quickly. There's nothing to have there and it's going to be painful. The point being is human beings, man, when we make a mistake, we beat ourselves up again and again and again and again. And one of the best things you can do is you just simply try to make amends, but then forgive yourself and move on. Your life is not defined by mistake. And Dominic, if you ever hear this video, if you ever watch this, know that, hey man, I forgive you and I want you to forgive yourself and move on and live a good life. I know I am not a perfect person. Neither are you. Neither is anyone watching this video. And so that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun making this video. Let me know again in the comments if you were able to find, how many times you're on the dark web. I really like today's sponsor because having your identity stolen, and my sister, by the way, she actually had her identity stolen and it was just a nightmare. Like 6 months later, like she still had like letters coming in and she did everything she could, but it was a mess. So again, the sooner you can catch that, if you can get alerts that your identity has been stolen, that is a great thing. So guys, again, go check out the sponsor down below. And what video to watch next? Well, go check it out. I'm going to surprise you. I'm not going to rickroll you. I promise this will be an awesome video, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. It will be related to today's video, and it's a good one, guys. Go find out what I'm talking about by clicking on the video right here.